Welcome back. Welcome back. This is Mr. Jones, your band director and music teacher at Oak Haven High School. Glad to have you back. We're going to be talking today about the G flat major scale. This is going to add to our series of scale lessons that we've been going over. Things you need to know about that G flat major scale. It contains six flats, okay, and it begins and ends on G flat. Let's take an opportunity right now to hear how it sounds. Let's do that right now. You have G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat, D flat, E flat, F, and G flat. Let's go back again and hear that one more time. G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat, D flat, E flat, F natural, and G flat. Okay, very important. Make sure that you are understanding that the scale, like I said, starts and ends on the same note and it has six flats. Um, to keep in the same order of the lessons that we were learning last week, let's talk a little bit about how to actually build this scale and the whole steps and half steps that are needed in order to do that. So let's look real quick. And of course, I have my little acronym up here, WWH. WWWH. Okay, the W stand for whole steps and the H's stand for half steps. So let's go ahead and start our formula. We start on one note. This is the note that we start on, which is our G flat, because this is the G flat scale. Pretty self-explanatory there. We're going to move one whole step forward since we start off with the W. So if we move one whole step from G flat, we should have A flat as our destination. And to keep track, we will cross off this W so we don't do a step twice or get lost. Okay, we have another W here. Moving forward from A flat, moving a whole step, will put us at B flats. Okay. Let's cross our W off. Now we have an H. Stands for half step. Well, a half step from B flat. Remember, half steps are the smallest distance of movement that you can have between two tones or two notes. So the smallest distance that we have here from B flat moving forward is B natural, regular B. We'll go ahead and mark that off and cross our H off. Let's move forward. We have W here, which is a whole step. A whole step from B puts us at D flat. Let's cross our W off. Another whole step from D flat moving forward is E flat. Let's cross our W. Another whole step from E flat. It's going to put us at F. And that leaves us with one more move. This last move is going to be a half step. And that half step brings us to our destination, which is G flat. Now, one of the quickest ways to check your scale out to make sure that it does check out and is correct, one of the quickest ways is to look at your beginning note and your end note. Make sure that those notes match, okay? You should end on G flat. Again, just only difference is it's an octave higher. So make sure that that is happening. If you're ending on a note that is not the note you started on, that is one of the quickest ways to tell that something was wrong with the formula. You need to go back and retrace your steps and make sure that all of your steps were made properly. Okay. So we have all of the notes inside of the G flat major scale marked off. This is very advantageous for us. This is what we want because now we are going to move into SoundCloud. Okay. SoundCloud is going to allow us to actually play this scale uh by ourselves, virtually on the piano. We don't have to have a piano at home with us. We can actually pull up a piano and play the scale. And this is what we're going to do. This is what you're going to do for a grade anyway. So let's go ahead and perform the scale inside of Soundtrap. Okay. So I'll go to my Soundtrap You take some time to go to yours. It goes without saying, guys, the videos that I make are at a certain pace, and I always encourage students anyway, pause at any time to make sure that you are grasping information. You do not have to move at the same pace that this video is moving. Okay, pause at any time to make sure that you understand the concepts in which we're covering. Okay. All right, so we're moving into Soundtrap. Okay, this is my Soundtrap. We always reiterate and recap how to operate Soundtrap from the beginning, from the start screen. You want to look for Enter Studio. So let's click that. And it does take some time to load, depending on your computer or what's going on with your Wi-Fi. So be mindful of that. They're trying to get me to do an older project. I'm just going to discard it. You're probably not going to see anything like that. You're going to be asked to choose between music and podcasts. We choose music for now. Right. And we're going to move over to the left part of the screen, and we'll be choosing add track. We've been taking some liberties with trying other sounds out and other instruments out. We'll do that today as well. So I'll just choose something different, just to shake things up and bring some creativity to this project. Okay, to our G flat scale. Let's try strings. I like strings. Let's try strings. Okay. You have a piano right here in front of you. This is great. You can either use your mouse to click on various notes, or you can use your keyboard to do it as well. You don't need to have an actual piano. Okay, the piano is provided for you on the screen, as you can see. Let's find our G flat scale, or just find our G flat note so we can create the scale. Better yet. Okay, so let's try G flat. That's not G flat, that's A flat. G flat right here. Here we are. So G flat. And we say we move a whole step up. A flat. Okay, we move another whole step. B flat. Half step. B. Whole step. D flat. Whole step. E flat. Whole step. F. Half step. G flat at the top. I'm gonna do it again. Just to make sure for clarity. Pause at any time. I would encourage you to go ahead and pause and use the formula to play the scale and actually play it out for yourself. If you notice, I'm on the higher end of the piano, or really towards the mid part of the piano. If I wanted to move down some, I can also choose octave right here. And if I push the back arrow for octave, it allows me to play lower on the piano. So let's see how that sounds. I'll play the same scale, just an octave lower. Let's try that. G flat. A flat. B flat. B natural. D flat. E flat. F. G flat. Okay, at this time you may pause. Take about 2 to 3 minutes to get yourself acquainted with that scale. I would suggest you play it maybe anywhere between 5 to 7 times in a row. Just try to play it. Once you get the hang of it, try it descending. Descending, we know descending means going the opposite of ascending. That means we're going down the scale now. So if you know it forwards and backwards, then you know you're doing something. Let's try that. Okay. Okay. Take time. Go ahead and get acquainted with that scale. You can try to commit it to memory. You should. Once you start learning these scales more, you'll see more patterns with the scales, and you'll be able to kind of tell where your keys are going. We're gonna move to the next phase though. Next phase is actually putting the scale inside of the piano roll. So that's what we're moving to next. So the way that you pick the piano roll is right here at the instrument area. We're gonna slide over and click piano roll. Now, if you've been coming to class, your attendance is pretty good. All this looks familiar to you right here. Of course, you know your grid is right here. There are some things that we can do to kind of prep this and make this a little easier on ourselves. Always encourage us to go over here to the tempo and let's kind of move this tempo down. It makes the dots, or not the dots, the boxes a little bit larger so that we can click them a little easier. That helps me because I don't have my glasses, so I can see a lot better. Okay. Also, we have a magnifying glass here to allow us to widen up the boxes as well. It all helps. We are going to be using the cycle mode, so we'll turn that on. It allows us to loop our sounds. Okay. And I think that's about it. So we can go in here and start clicking some notes. Remember, we're doing the G flat scale. So we're gonna start on G flat. Remember, the darker boxes represent the dark keys on the piano. So this should be G flat. And as I press this and hold it, it is G flat. So, okay. So our next note, we're gonna move over one spot and move up one spot, because this is kind of just like a grid. We're gonna click A flat. Okay. Same thing. Find B flat. Now we're at that half step mark. Remember, half step. Gonna put us at B natural. Okay. Go ahead and stop here. I'll stop here, let you catch up. Just know that we're going, this is the first four notes of the scale. So far you should have G flat, A flat, B flat, and B natural. Okay. You should have so far. All right, let's press forward. D flat, E flat, F, and G flat. If you're confused, I want you to remember we just talked about this. Let's go back for a little bit. G flat, A flat, B flat, B natural, regular B. Then you have D flat, E flat, F, and G flat. Okay, so if you're confused, this is exactly, nothing has changed. We're doing this right here. This is exactly what we're doing. And even earlier in the lesson, when we had this, still the same thing. See, listen. Same concept. It's just placed in different ways. Same scale, same notes. Okay. I don't want you to be alarmed or feel overwhelmed. Okay. So far, this is what we have. So let's bring our loop in to what we have. There we go. And if we hit play, okay, sounds good, sounds good. Let's reverse that order and let's come back down. Remember, we hit the top note twice, so let's do that. G flat, F, E flat, D flat. Let me stop right here, let you catch up. So far, coming back down the scale, you should have G flat again, F, E flat, D flat. Okay. Next note should be B. Then B flat, A flat, and then G. And if I bring my cursor directly to the middle, as you can see, the notes should be symmetrical. If I go from left to right, all the notes line themselves up. I shouldn't have a note that doesn't line itself up with the one that's directly across from it. Okay. Let's move our loop out some more since we created more music. And let's hit play. See how it sounds. All right, sounds good to me. Now, as you know, and I just hit X right there, so don't be alarmed. I just hit the X and it pulled it all away so we can see the music that we just created. So don't be alarmed. If you want to see what I just did there when I hit that X, sorry. Well, if you want to see that, then just stop video and go back about 10 seconds. You'll see that I hit that X. Okay. Here's the fun part. Okay. We just made the scale. Now we get to add a little bit of creativity, add a little bit of flair to this to make it stand out. Okay, so we're gonna go to add new track. Gonna go ahead and find our drum and beats. And this is the time where you get to be creative. You've been learning how to create beat patterns inside of Soundtrap for about the past 2 to 3 weeks. And I want you to be as creative as possible. Let's go with 5 drums this time. So we're gonna create a drum pattern. You're gonna use 5 different drums. And let's change our actual drum sounds to something that we may like. I'll use Varsity. Okay, because I'll try to get away from vanilla. All right, so let me go in here and find some more drum sounds. I simply hit the add button, and it shoots out another drum. And of course, this may not be the drum that I want. So I click the little caret, and it opens me up to some more ideas and some more things I could put on here. So I'm gonna take a ride. Now I'm gonna add another one. Now hit the caret. And let's do crash. We'll do crash 3. Okay. Now I'm about to create a drum pattern. So all we do is go in here. Remember, a box that's lit is a box that's going to make sound. Okay, that's the biggest thing. And you have to also keep in mind that the 4 boxes that you have, the 4 sets of 4, are really 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. It's good to keep that in mind as well, because when you're creating your patterns, it keeps you grounded as to what it's going to sound like. So I'll just go in here. Let's see. Okay, that's my kick. Kick is another word for bass drum. Okay, snare. Okay, hi-hats. Okay, ride cymbal. And crash. Okay. Now, I just created a quick little 4-beat situation. So let's go over here. Let's take a look. What you realize is my drum pattern is not large enough to cover all of my strings. You notice that, right? See how small that is? It's actually only covering a fourth of the music that I have. Okay? So I gotta do something. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy and paste this 3 more times to make it large enough. I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. Let me click my drum area. It turns almost beet red. What I want to do is I want to hold down Control and press C. And once I do that, my computer knows that I'm getting ready to copy and paste something. Okay. Once I've hit Control and C, I'm going to move my cursor to the spot where I'm going to drop my new drums at. So of course I want it where the old drums end. So I'm going to put my cursor right up on the end of my old set of drums. And I'm going to hold down Control and press V. My new set of drums shows up. Let's bring the cursor over again to where I want to drop another set of drums. And a duplicate set of drums shows up again by pressing Control and V. Okay, we got to press Control and V one more time. And that should about cover it. And it has completely covered the amount of music that I have. I have drums that can cover it. Now when I hit play, you'll hear drums and music playing at the same time. And it's going to sound like something that's a bit more put together, something that's a bit more interesting to listen to. Let's listen. Okay, now let's see if I want to change my drum sounds. Okay, I like the rhythm. The drums wasn't really hitting, in my opinion. So if I wanted to change my drum sounds, I'm gonna go over here and click this little circle right here. And let's find the drum area. So this is the little drum area right here. My options for drums, just click that. Let's see if I can find something else that's want something that's gonna hit a little better than that. That wasn't really hidden for me. Let me see what Vermont. Let's try that. We hit X right here to get everything out the way. Now we're going to move our cursor back to the beginning so we can have a clean start. And let's hit play. Okay, I like that. The drums are a little bit overpowering, so if you have an issue like that, let's go to the volume and we can tune our drums down, or not tune them, but just quiet them down just a touch. And let's see what that does. Let's hit play. All right, I like it. I like it. Once you get your drums and your sounds, and you get your scale to where it needs to be, and you got your drums under it, you got everything the way it needs to be, you're going to turn this into an MP3 file. Okay, you're going to save it to your computer so that you can then share it with me inside of the chat, or the big chat, the general chat. Okay, let me show you how to turn this into an MP3 file. You're going to click File. Going to click Export. And then you're going to click Export Project to MP3 file. Now, once you do that, it may ask you tell you to save it first, because if you did not save your project, you got to save it first. So I'm going to save mine. Well, you know what, before I do that, let's change the name of the song. Okay, the name of the song should be G flat. We just call it G flat. We call it G flat major. G flat major. Okay. And after that, it's hit save. Saving the project. And you get this little clear, little almost translucent sign here that says mixing. You're not going to be able to turn this into an MP3 file until that mixing is done. So once that mixing is done, then you'll be clear to do it. So you're going to click File, go to Export, and then Export Project to MP3 file. Once you've done that successfully and saved it to your computer, then you'll be able to send it to me in the general chat, okay, through an attachment. Okay, I think that about wraps it up for what you're going to be doing. Just to recap real quick, I showed you the scale on the staff, okay, how it looks on the staff. Then we went over the formula. This is in my opinion, this is the most important thing that we covered, okay. um we told you the formula on how to create a major scale, okay. Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step, okay. This is for any note that you start on, but today we started on G flat major, so we started on G flat and we was able to create an entire scale. Then lastly, we took that scale and the knowledge of how to make that scale, and we went inside of Soundtrap and made something very creative and something that is nice on the ears with drums added to it, and something that's pretty creative, okay? So you're going to be doing the same thing. I would love to hear your MP3 file and all of those good things that you do. My mixing has gone away, so let's try it as a group. We're going to do file, then we're going to go to export. We're going to export as an MP3 file. Okay, let's wait. All right. Mine's is going to my music. Okay, yours can go anywhere you want it to go. If you know that, if you have a hard, I'm gonna tell you this. If you have a hard time finding files on your computer, the best thing to do is to save it to your desktop. Let me show you why. When you click desktop, okay, because whatever you click, this is where it's going to send it to. So let's just click desktop. So I'm gonna click desktop. Okay, this is going to be called G flat major. We know that. It's going to be an MP3 format, and then we're going to click save, right? Desktop is so cool. It just saved it. As you can see right here in the corner, it's blinking. Let's minimize my screen, minimize this screen. And we said that we sent it to the desktop. The desktop is the very front screen of your computer. So as you can see, the desktop, it is right there. Boom, right in front of me. That's why it's so cool sometimes to save stuff to your desktop if you know you have a hard time finding stuff inside of folders, okay? So it is right there. And since we're already on it, let me see if I can show you. I'm gonna open up Microsoft Teams really quick, and let me see if I can show you to attach a file inside of Teams. Let's just say this is 10th period. Inside the chat, you're gonna go to start a new conversation, and you're gonna look for that paper clip. It says attach. Click that paper clip, and you're going to click upload from my computer. Let's do that. And we're going to go to desktop. And we're going to look for that file. G flat majors right there. Let's double tap it. And we're going to click upload file. Let's do that. As you can see, it is bringing it up right here. From right here, once that bar has already filled green, just go ahead and click to send. Okay, I'm not going to send it because it's going to send a notification to everybody, and it's frankly too late for that. But that's how you do it. Okay. Any of the instructions that I gave you today, man, guys, just go ahead and pause it at any time. There's a lot of information in this video, and you can pause this at any time. Rewind it. That's the beauty of video. Okay. Anything that that I may have said or any information that I gave you that might be unclear, you can always pause it and go back and look at it. Okay, for clarity. Now, signing off. This is your band director and music teacher at Oak Haven High School. This is Mr. Jones. Look forward to seeing you guys again. And we are signing off. Thank you, people. Thank you.